Absolute scenes this weekend. The war was escalating. You had oil gapping up to almost $120 now earlier today, and crypto for some reason is holding. Crypto is climbing. We've seen the US markets under a lot of pressure, guys. Is this going to continue? We've got Bitcoin at resistance, we've got alts at resistance, and we're covering metals. Obviously, we're talking oil and some stocks. Monday, let's go. But as always, hit that like, hit the bell, and hit the subscribe. And it is Monday, which means we've got, obviously, Mr. 𝗵𝗵𝗶𝗁 in the house. Quick take. Yes, no, up, down.
Very bullish, this whole oil mess. Yeah, it's hard to know what's going on here. We got headlines coming out at the moment.
Okay, so James is watching these headlines because things are super hectic at the moment, guys. We have seen these alts push into resistance zones, and the question I'm asking you right now is, do we long the top of 𝗬𝗎 or do we short the top of 𝗬𝗎? Okay, let me know, because either way, we're gonna have some fun now. And Chaos is in the house, Mr. Indicator Expert. He tells us he's got shorts that he's looking at the moment. How are you feeling generally in terms of the market?
Generally, I'm okay. I'm just looking for a little bit of a push up, and then I'm looking to bring it back down. So I'm looking for shorts.
Another push up, as if this move wasn't enough. Ooh, okay, cool. Well, maybe that ties into longing the top of 𝗬𝗎. Chaos, do me a favor. While I'm going through Bitcoin here, won't you quickly look at the oil chart? I think we can get a bounce long here in a second. Okay, so guys, get ready, because I see oil has fallen over quite dramatically, and we might get a little DCB here on some of that oil. Okay, and PMG George, are you in, bro? Okay, well, it's broken the VWAP, it's broken the quantum reactor, and it's sitting at trend resistance. So you guys decide in terms of bullishness what we are going to do. Now, 𝗨𝗧𝗏 has been an interesting one. Gave us two nice trades this weekend. Actually, one of them was on Friday on the show. I gave you guys some zones to play with, and then yesterday on the Hacker Zoom session, we caught a little breakout on 𝗨𝗏. So that AI narrative doing quite nicely. My hype wife over there, 6% up, about to break a daily trend. Are we going to get the move now that makes us happy? And then Zcash, look at this, 8.5% up. It's into the add onto the short zone. Okay, so this is obviously a critical moment here for us today. And Jason, don't worry, sir. XRP is moving into our short zone as well, and we're either going to get rinsed or we're going to feel very happy with ourselves. Now, let's take a look at BTC. In terms of the daily, you can see what's going on here. Super tight range at the moment, and it's anybody's guess as to what happens next in terms of BTC. Do we go higher? Do we go lower? You guys can tell me in the chats how you're feeling, but when I'm looking at this type of thing, I like to go into much lower time frames and start getting a picture. Yeah, fuck me, I see it's going red already, and maybe the incorrect choice was to long the top of 𝗬𝗎. Okay, guys, we got to make a decision here very quickly. Okay, so BTC is now pushing into our bear zone. So this was the whole day's work now since Asia opened. What happened yesterday? We covered this on the Hacker Zoom. We were talking about a drop into that 618 region. You can see we front ran it, and then we got the nice bounce on BTC. So now we are moving into the area where we start saying to ourselves, should we be leaning short again after a short little pump to the upside? Now, I'm getting edgy because I started long in the top of the 𝗬𝗎, James, and James looked at me with these big eyes. Look. Where's he? There he is. Look at that. He didn't like that. But we're going to... We're going to see now. Okay. So guys, BTC moving into the rejection zone. You can see BTC is rolling over a little bit. I'm still weighted more long than short. I'm going to start closing some of this long action here at the moment on BTC. Let's close a little bit more of this long here right now, just to make sure we are covering ourselves. Okay, and we might be moving into a situation, guys, where we need to start weighting ourselves short. You can see I've got a sol short running at the moment. 𝗬𝗎, my long the top, is flat right now. As we speak, Zcash is sitting there at the moment. SPX messing around, Hyperliquid doing its thing. And then I've still got some ETH and DOT and XRP. But basically, this weekend for me was mainly just chop around and just wasting time is pretty much what I experienced, because I was looking for some kind of de-escalation on the war, and they haven't obviously come out with that. But for some reason, the market seems to be doing things. Okay, so now let's look at BTC in terms of what can happen next. So in terms of our oscillator here on the 2 hour, you can see what's going on. We are moving into our pretty hot zone at the moment, but we don't have any signs just yet that are telling us that we need to look for some kind of reversal. So you can see we don't have our overbought signs and things like that at the moment. So it's a little bit of a concern here in terms of reversals until we start seeing some kind of indication here on that oscillator. So Chaos actually tells me he's looking for a little bit higher here in terms of some of the shorts that he's looking at. So that might obviously play into some kind of move here a little bit higher on BTC. So if we do start breaking higher, you can see we are battling the VWAP and the bear zone at the moment. If we do start pushing higher, what you need to do is you're just going to simply start adding some of your fibs that are of interest. And generally that is going to be your 786 and your 618 fib. I do personally love a 786 reversal. So for me, if we do start squeezing quite hard, I would say the next high conviction short zone is going to be the 72,200 give or take. Okay, so 72,200 on BTC. If we do get a little squeeze here, it looks pretty nice to me in terms of where this thing could possibly roll over and tie into some kind of 2-hour reversal here on our oscillator. You can see it's just not quite there yet. Let's take a look at the 1 hour quickly on this guy. And you can see that 1 hour candle nice and red at the moment. Let's see our oscillator quickly. And also, we're not printing the reversals yet, but we do know this is a typical danger zone here for BTC. Okay, so that is BTC to the upside. And then, guys, the big support has to be the 618 fib. Okay, that's untapped at the moment. It's 65,200 into 65K. Matty, 100%. We got CPI on Wednesday, which obviously makes this quite clearly the biggest week in crypto since last week. I mean, you cannot get a bigger week in crypto than this week, guys. There's war, there's CPI, I think it was PPI as well. What's coming up this week? We're going to talk about that now in a sec. But in terms of the news, let's see what's going on. Fear and greed back at 8, and Bitcoin is going up. Can you actually make sense of this, James?
The Bitcoin's going up at the moment?
Bitcoin's been going up for the last 24 hours. Explain this to me. Take me through this.
We had our panic dump there, right? Just on Asia Open because of oil. Oil went to what did it even hit? Was it 115, 119?
Almost 120. No.
120. And yeah, so we had our panic dump there, and then we bounced a bit. And I mean, this morning we've had some headlines out trying to cool it down, saying that the G7 is going to potentially release some of the reserves, 400 million barrels or something like that. Then we just had a message out saying that's actually not true. They're discussing it, but they are not ready for that.
Well, we're going to look at that now because I think we're going to get an oil bounce pretty soon. Okay, so Chaos is looking at that oil chart for us. I do have it on the daily, but I think we can look at it. But remember, guys, if you want to spoil your lady, you can just take her to somewhere very expensive now for dinner. And you can literally just go to the local garage there and you can fill up and just show her how you care and show her how you're spoiling her. Okay, it's nice and expensive now in terms of that. And Markets and Mayhem says, Warren Buffett says, freak the fuck out, panic sell everything. It's over. And it must be true. Okay, now I also have a news update from Liquidations at the moment, and Liquidations is pretty much on the front line. So let's take a look at what Liquidations has to say here.
Getting hit hard over the weekend. Oil gapped up to almost 120 a barrel. The G7 countries are talking about releasing their oil reserves strategically to help ease the pressure. And well, apparently being a little guy doesn't exempt you from joining the military these days. Not sure if boots on the ground is the right play, but I'm getting ready for it anyway.
Okay, he's fired up. He's ready to go. I don't know if boots on the ground is the right play, but I mean, they're even taking the little men at the moment. Okay, so Liquidations, they're reporting on the front line. Well, look what's going on here. US-Iran ceasefire on poly markets, only 7% that they come to some kind of arrangement before the 15th of March. So it's not looking good at the moment. The guys are taking big bets here. And you can see the odds on a ceasefire by 30th of June are looking like more reasonable at the moment. Okay, so not looking good on that front, guys. And in terms of oil, whew, I mean, in terms of getting liquid, guys, oil traders, welcome to crypto. This is shitcoinery at its absolute finest. You experience it with silver, you experience it with gold, and now you got rinsed on oil. Okay, you got rinsed to the upside, you got rinsed to the downside. Chaos, are we long in this bitch? 94, let's go. Talk to me. Are we doing this thing?
Yo. I'm just looking at it now. There's obviously this gap to contend with, isn't there? Down at 91, is it? I think.
Okay, so confirm. Chaos said long oil. There we go. Okay, we long oil. 94, 95, okay. US oil. Thanks for the confirmation there, Chaos.
Yep,
so, I mean, I'm just looking at...
Easy. It's almost like you made your mind up before we even said it, right?
Okay, so guys, let me tell you what's going on here. And why does Rahul think 80K is incoming? That would be, geez, that would be quite nice, guys. That would be very nice. Okay. So what's the story with oil? You heard what James said. The G7 spoke about releasing barrels, and that started dumping the oil price at the moment. Now we've capitulated all the way down. I mean, this is chaos. I don't know what you make of this, but if you see 20% on oil in a day, it's insanity here at the moment. And I would assume there's a little bit of work to do to the back to the upside here, even some kind of DCB. So, you know, even if the smart money can see that there's something coming to an end, James, I mean, you love a tinfoil hat here. Oil dumping like this means what? Maybe the big guys are starting to pull out of these oil things. Maybe there is some kind of headline around the corner. I know you love a tinfoil.
I mean, Trump, just before the show here, Trump came out and said that he's nowhere close to boots on the ground, but that he really does not approve of this new Ayatollah there, the Ayatollah's son that's been put in place, and he's not having that. So I think this is just a temporary drop. I think more volatility continues. This was just based on that reserve news, I think.
Yeah, so guys, I mean, it's a 20% drop in the day. The speculation here is this a reasonable zone to look for a bounce? Okay, you can see here we got a pivot zone, we got a 382, and we've got a gap that Chaos was talking about down to 92.6. So in terms of a reasonable area to look for some kind of bounce on oil, I don't think you can go wrong in terms of risk reward here on an oil bounce. If it does drop lower, you got 87.2. But right now for me, a little scalp long here, 95 into 90, 92.6 looks reasonable. You start closing under that gap, then I think it goes lower, and there's other forces at play. Now this is the
rumor on X that it's Jane Street's into oil now. It's Jane Street altogether.
Don't talk
really?
Okay, so guys, this is the largest oil supply shock in history. Okay, they've lost 20 million barrels per day. Okay, this is insanity. What is going on here? It's the biggest one in history, and it makes sense that things exploded. And you heard what James said earlier. The G7 countries, they were talking about releasing 400 million barrels. That obviously started dumping the price, but now they've come back and said we're not there yet. Okay, and then for some reason after this news, where you would assume oil would start pumping, it's actually dropped another 5 or 10% since this news came out. So for me, there's other things at play here at the moment. Now, in terms of this week, let's just see what's going on. We got CPI, thanks to Matty telling us CPI on Wednesday, and then we got PCE coming on Friday as well. So there's a couple of big markers here. Obviously, the war is going to take the front row seat, of course, in terms of these things. And Brad says he's not happy with James starting these rumors here. Now, guys, I am running a poll at the moment in the chats. Let's just see the sentiment from you guys. Okay, we've got US market down, BTC up. Do you trust this? Okay, 34% yes, and 66% don't trust this move, guys. I think it's going higher then.
It might.
66% don't buy this move.
Everybody's scared, and they don't trust us at all. Think it's a dead cat bounce. That may continue.
Ooh, guys, okay. Read the poll. Normally, if it's too weighted in one direction, you kind of need to fade that move. So we've only got 280 votes so far. So come, stick some votes in there, and let's take a look here as what you guys have to say. Okay, so guys, that is the news coming this week, and then the S&P it's an absolute beast. This thing, look at this. It gaps down, and look how hard it bounces here, just on a typical day. Yeah, look at this recovery bounce on this S&P. You know, it's like a 1% in no time. This thing is insane how this works, but you can see right now we are grinding down. That 200-day MA is going to be our new support base. So kind of following the plan that we were talking about last week, kind of looking for this thing to chop a little bit lower down. And then in terms of our daily oscillator, look at this. If we go back in time on the S&P, the last time it hit these lows was November 25, and then there was quite a big move to the upside. So in terms of getting sold off and things like that on the daily on the S&P, we had a 7% bounce the last time we got to these types of levels. So I would assume some kind of relief is along the way. Oil's rejecting here, S&P getting close to a reversal. I think this week we get something, guys. This week something's coming here for us. Okay, let's see. Oil, am I getting rinsed? Yeah, a little bit rinsed here at the moment, guys. If you want some risk management zones just to cover close below 92.6 on US oil, I think that's reasonable exit there. You've given it a chance to run a little bit higher. If it's dropping there, guys, I think the good news is equities and crypto will be running. And if oil is dropping, the upside is our longs are going to be cooking. Okay, let's take a look. Gold and silver, these guys are just chopping around at the moment. So I don't have any high conviction setups on these guys currently. You can see we're just chopping in a super tight range. And in terms of the oscillator, super confusing here at the moment. Look at this, multiple reversal prints from both directions, chopping around here. So I don't have any clear direction on gold and silver. And I think it kind of speaks to where we are at the moment with the war and with the current uncertainty out there. People don't know exactly what is going to go on. So in terms of reaction zones, 4,900, 5,250. These are the big ones for me, up and downside, and kind of just waiting for a big move. And then we can start planning what happens next. Same with silver. You can see super tight range here at the moment on silver. And look, it's either going to explode through or they're going to drop it back down. Kind of waiting for a decisive move before we start figuring out what the next play is on silver. In terms of resistance, you can see 85. That is a big resistance zone. So careful up there at 85. And in terms of longs, I still do fancy the 76 region here to the downside. So we're going to have to wait and see how these things start playing out. Now, in terms of some of the stocks, guys, Chaos, do you have any stocks today? Let us know there. If he's got no stocks. Look, NVIDIA, I'm having a little bit of a scalp here off the 200-day MA. Just a simple little bouncy play. Don't think I'm going to hold this much longer other than through the close. So NVIDIA, you can see 176, 200-day MA giving us a bounce. And then our lower support band, guys, 168, 170 for NVIDIA. Can look for a bounce there on that one. Now, this is interesting to me. Tesla, guys, it's lost the 200-day moving average. And right now, if this thing closes under this 200-day moving average, I suspect Tesla can start breaking down and give us a little bit of downside here. So right now, I'm watching this very, very closely at the moment. If we close under this 200-day MA, I think there's going to be some selling on this Tesla. Chaos has got his hand up. Yes, sir.
Apple looks very interesting. Once you're done with Tesla and NVIDIA, you asked about the stock. Apple looks very interesting. I'll give you Apple.
Yeah, let me just finish. So guys, so Tesla, look, starting a short here on Tesla, the key is going to be a close below this 200-day MA. If this thing closes below the 200-day MA, I think it's going to start dropping. And you're looking at 360, and then you're looking at some downside levels here that we can start discussing once it starts moving. But you can see at the moment, it's not looking great. Like one of the scenarios, obviously, here is we can just break down as things are, or alternatively, they can fire it back up and then drop it down, and we can say, oh, well, there's a head and shoulders or whatever the story is. But guys, the 200-day MA, it's a big marker for me at the moment. And watching this one super closely here on Tesla. And then Procter & Gamble, guys, been tracking this one. This is an interesting one. We're in massive support here. And I think we got a long 152 is going to be big support, 151 decent support as well. We're going to get a nice reversal on this daily pretty soon here. I'm just looking for this daily oscillator to start giving us some magic in terms of a reversal here, but I think it's super close on this Procter & Gamble. So just keep your alarms on. At the moment, it's 152 into about 150, looking interesting for some short-term bounce. Not looking for anything big here on this guy. It could be a few percent, but you can see good support, 200-day MA, 50-day MA, and this is essentially going to be the golden cross. Look at that. We got a 50-day MA coming into the 200, and that could be super interesting here for us. Okay, so it could be a little bouncer. Let's take a look at what Chaos has. Do you want to bring your chart up there, sir?
Sure.
And you're talking some Apple things for us.
If I can find the screen, hold on. Share screen, share window. Here we go. So, is that coming up? There we go. That should be. Can you pull that up?
I'm trying to locate it. There it is. Okay.
It's weird, isn't it? It's not loading. It's weird, isn't it? Shall I unshare and
unshare? Okay, we're going to crack on here, guys. Okay, so we're going to go. Okay, so let's go into some BTC things here while we're waiting. And Giorgio says, "I don't gamble." Okay, Chaos, do you want to just bring it up when you're ready? Just try and bring it up again. Yeah. In terms of BTC, James from Stratton says Bitcoin bottoms when 80% of the supply is held by long-term holders. Okay, more time-based capitulation needed, he tells us at the moment. Oh, there's Chaos' screen. Okay, continue, sir. Apple, let's go.
Look, very simply, I really like the look of this. We've got a couple of bullish divergences. This is the 1 hour, by the way. So this is dialing in quite close to pinpoint a nice entry, guys. We've got a bullish divergence. We have a second bullish divergence. We've actually got the RSI, which has come down to make a low, and it's facing up, and it's just turned green, which is great. On top of that, if you look at the last time the cash flow went positive, which was here, okay, and the previous time the cash flow went red and then came positive, we had that dip, and then we had that dip and the move up. So what I'm looking for here is a nice red curve, and we come back up and we start to push up at least 5% up to the next order block. And that is also where I can see that the 100 and the 50-day and the anchor VWAP from the top and bottom and a bearish order block all are sitting. So what I think is best is to find an entry, assuming we get another test down here at the 254 region to 250, and then we enter along and it's a 5% move up. I quite like the look of that.
Okay, so a little dip still coming for you on Apple. Nice big zone there. Okay, you got the order blocks. You got
it's pretty solid. But this is nice
there as well. Okay, and you got the divergence.
It's good to see the divergences and the RSI and the cash flow all saying the same thing. That's normally quite a strong confluence.
Okay, so guys, if you want to trade these stocks, you can do it on BTCC. You can do it on 𝗵𝗿𝗍𝗃. The links are in the show description. I think you can even do it on Prime as well. The links are there in the show description for you. 𝗵𝗿𝗍's massive selection of TradFi stuff at the moment, and there's 0 fees on TradFi on 𝗵𝗿𝗍. I'm not sure how long it's going to last, but there's 0 fees there now for anyone want to try some of these stocks. So you can grab that Apple there. And Chaos, thanks. So a little bit lower, and remember, all these charts you see, they go into the Hackers Discord for you guys directly after the show. And Chaos is actually going to tell you in a few minutes a new product that we've actually just launched. But I'll let him tell you guys in a couple of minutes. Super excited about that. Guys, let's get into some BTC things. We've actually got a lot to cover here today. So I'm actually going to fly through some of this stuff. But according to this tweet here, Bitcoin bottoms when 80% of the supply is held by long-term holders. And James is saying more time-based capitulation is needed. So you can see in terms of this chart, we haven't hit that level just yet. So he's kind of saying, you know, hurry up and wait. And in terms of poly markets, the guys are betting now that Bitcoin's going to drop below 45K in 2026. Rough, guys. I don't know. Do we go this low? Do we go to the 28.5? I mean, James is nodding. James loves a bit of destruction here. And but 75% betting on BTC is going to fall to 55K, guys. That's a hell of a big number. That some of these things, okay. And Mia's talking about the Hackers website. I know Chaos has been tinkering around there, doing a couple of things. Okay, nice, very nice. So, guys, Bitcoin on the weekly again. If you're a spot trader or super low leverage trader, and you're looking at this thing, not much has actually changed. You can see in terms of the weekly situation, we've got a massive rejection of that 50-day MA and 236 macro fib, and now we've got a wick that could easily get filled. So reasonably, we could push up to 71, 72K. We could visit 75 again. It could fill the wick, double top, all these types of things here, and still remain relatively bearish. So in terms of BTC, bigger picture, there hasn't been many changes here at the moment on this guy. Okay, you can see we are fighting this resistance here as hard as possible, not getting any luck at the moment on those breakouts. Now, guys, let's talk about a couple of things. The shitcoin casino, I don't cover it much on the show, but I do drop 1 or 2 setups in the Hackers Discord during the week. And my pick for today was this 𝗏𝗏, and I've chosen the most degen exchange to obviously do these things on, and that is 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗃 here at the moment. So I've got this 𝗏𝗏𝗏 short running at the moment. Guys, if you want to play the game on these shitcoin casinos, you got to go big areas, you got to go isolated, you got to go super small size and very low leverage with a big stop loss, and be prepared to piss the money away in case it pops a little bit higher. Okay, the upside of these things is normally a 20 to 25% drop that you can get out of it, but the downside is you can get absolutely capitulated while they push it into the next big zone. Okay, so I'm sitting in the short on 𝗏𝗏𝗏 on 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 here, looking for some kind of rejection. You can see why. Macro 236, 200-day MA. Let's see if it plays out. Small position, guys, big stop loss. We're looking for a 20, 25% drop on this thing. Okay, so that is the 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 situation. Now, guys, let's talk about, I've got ETH, I've got SOL, I've got XRP, obviously. We're talking SUI, SPX, Pendle when entry actually played out. We've got Dupe Hype, the wife, Aero, Chaos. You must have 3 or 4 bangers as well.
Yeah.
Anything on my list that you got as well? What are you cooking up there?
I've actually got 3 completely different ones. ETHify, CVX, and SQD. Want some shit coinery today.
Wow. Okay, guys, let us know in the chats. 𝗵𝗵, CVX, or SQD. Which one do you want to short? Which one do you want to short with the most passion? Okay, I need to know the most passion out of those. CVX, SQD, and 𝗵𝗵. Okay, let us know there. And 𝗬𝗏𝗔𝗥𝗧𝗏 is talking about Sol here. We're going to talk about that now. And Mia, it's time to start moving short, I would say. Like, that's my gut feel here at the moment. Let's talk about 𝗵. Let's take a look. Now, this was 1st of Feb, and I checked 1st of Feb, he was 10 billion down on when 𝗵 was about 2,000. So he's probably 12 billion down now at the moment. But guys, it's okay. What do you do when you're in a massive losing trade? You just buy more. You just buy tons more. You just keep buying, and the pain goes away eventually. Look at the pain in his eyes at the moment. You can see that man is feeling stressed. Look at that. Look, he's proper stressed at the moment. That's a man that's 12 billion down and buying more. Okay, propping up that position here at the moment. Now, let's talk about 𝗵. What's happened here? We front ran our 786 fib, so strong bounce now on 𝗵. And again, we're moving into the zone where we need to be careful now. We look at the macro situation. Are the stars aligning? Is there a massive war in the Middle East? Do we have oil issues? Do we have desalination plants getting hit? Are things escalating? I think we need to be careful at the very least when you get a push to the upside. So for me, leaning a rejection on a lot of these altcoins doesn't have to necessarily be at this exact region. But what I'm looking at here, the general play that I'm seeing at the moment, if they don't start reversing here, you might get one more push up to the upside, and then I am looking for these things to start dropping lower. Okay, so that is basically my bias at the moment. I am leaning a little bit in the short direction. So you can see in terms of 𝗵, 2050 is the upper band of this danger zone. You can see I do have an undercarriage in this area as well. And you can see our oscillator is getting a little bit overcooked now on the 2 hour. It's not done yet. It's not, it's not over just yet, but you can see what happens typically when the oscillator moves to the hot side. We can get these rollovers here on these shitcoins. Okay, so 𝗵, I am leaning bearish, guys. 2020 into 2050, kind of where I want to be. And I've got an 𝗵 short. I have actually added a little bit to it. But guys, remember, there is a possibility always that there could be a squeeze in the market. And if there's a squeeze in the market, it can be quite brutal and you can get absolutely rinsed. So don't marry these things, okay? Especially these shorts. If it starts squeezing, follow and track reasonable levels to the upside and start playing them smartly. Play those zones, okay? Don't get married to these things if it does explode. Now, I just want to give you guys one level. I did tell you about Bitcoin at that 786, and you basically want to do the same thing. So if there is a little squeeze in the market here, what you can do is you can start looking at an extreme move, and an extreme move is quite often that 786. So guys, for 𝗵, 2140 is looking like the next big zone. So if there is a squeeze here, 2140 makes a lot of sense to me for the next reversal on 𝗵. So you'll look for that push and then that rejection in that zone. Okay, so right now, that's where I'm expecting it. I'd be very surprised if we suddenly get new highs in the current situation. How high are you going on some of your shorts here? Are you going like a few percent, or is it like a big move?
No, it's not a big move at all. To be honest with you, we are within, let me just grab a measuring tool on one of mine. We are within 3% of the sort of zone I'm looking at to short. We're not far.
Okay, so 3%, and then, yeah, look, 3% is, it's about there for 𝗵, 2.7, 3%. Okay, so guys, we're getting close. I mean, the point is we're getting close there. And, just be careful with what you are doing. Be careful with how you guys are operating. Here's Solana. Mia, same story. Here's our local bear zone. Time to start cutting some of these longs. No, Matty, here we go. And 85.5, I dropped this in the hackers Discord this morning. 85.5 to 87 is our local bear zone. This is where we need to start being a little bit cautious with what we're doing. Okay, so, the general consensus is if you're going max long on everything you have here into these bear zones, like you can get yourself in a little bit of trouble. Okay, so in terms of my Sol position, I'm clipping some of this long here on Sol, and I'm starting to move into a short, leaning short position here on Solana. This was the plan that I gave you guys last night on the Hacker Zoom, and you can see what happened. We dropped into the fib, we had a beautiful bounce, and this is what we were looking for yesterday. And if the plan's going to play out, well, this is the area now where we can expect some kind of rejection on Sol. Okay, so 85.5 into 87.1 here, guys. Looking like a trouble zone for me. Just be careful up here in these types of areas. Then to 𝗬𝗹, trying to figure out why this thing randomly pumps and dumps all the time. And it was a banger last night. We caught a breakout on this thing. Wasn't a big size trade, but eventually it actually ran beyond the targets last night. This thing exploded, and now it's broken above the 50-day MA. But there's basically an AI narrative here at the moment floating around, and maybe that is why this thing is getting a little bit of attention. Now, in terms of 𝗬, like it's difficult to long or short the current situation. What I've got here is a bearish 1 hour. Okay, so we can see this thing has lost a level. This thing might want to track down. So for me, like after that breakout play yesterday, we can see we had a nice move. And now if we look at this naturally, organically, it looks like it might want to just start drifting a little bit lower into one of these types of zones. So I would say anyone playing responsive 𝗬, because it's been super responsive on lower time frames on the 1 hour, I'd say let's wait for this 1 hour to reset. Let's target a decent area. At the moment, it looks like 185 or 1 hour reset, and we've got our VWAP here, our 0.5, and that looks like a nice zone to try and attack there on 𝗬. So a 1 hour reset. Let's see if we can get a bounce over here. You can see the types of move this thing has been dishing out for us over the last couple of days. Look at these pumps here out of this thing. So I think if we can just get lock in one of these entries here, 185, 186, we should get some kind of bounce. Okay, so time it with a 1 hour reset there, guys. You can see that oscillator is trying to go a little bit lower. I think we should give Chaos some time now. We should give Chaos some attention, and let the man send a couple of these alts to zero. Let's see what you got. And then when he's done, guys, I've got XRP, James's favorite. I've got SPX, 𝗬𝗎, Jupe, Aero, Doge. I mean, it's all happening here, guys. Okay, let's go.
There's a lot going on. Do you want me just to rattle through a couple real quick?
Yeah, let's see what you got.
Okay, cool. CVX.
Orders though, please. So yeah,
of course. Okay, so CVX, we have a strong resistance area here that you can see, guys. Hopefully you can see this clearly enough. We've pinged this zone once there. We've pinged this zone here and here. This is a strong area of liquidity. This is also quite a bearish liquidity zone, 70% versus 30%. So much more bearish. We've also got our 200-day coming in here, which I really like. And what I like about this is our point of control, which is obviously the strong point through this chart where the price action tends to, operate the most in, is right the way down here, along with our 50 and our 100 and our dynamic reactor. And also, even though it's turned off, the quantum reactor is also down here. And this move is a 20% move, guys. It's a really nice trade. I'm very aware CVX is hyper manipulated and it has stopped us out multiple times. I have tried to short here and I've been stopped. I'm literally trying again at 2.42 is my entry. And what I'm basically doing here, I'll just zoom in for you guys. We're sweeping the 200 and we banking on the fact that the market makers are going to stop out everybody who have got their stops above these wicks. Okay, no, they won't have access to a lot of these liquidity zones. We do. We're expecting a sweep and an entry in this block. So my entry starts 242. This will be the third time I've tried to trade this. I've been stopped out twice. So just be aware, maybe a little bit less size, guys. Is this a shitcoin, Dylan?
You think I'm married to Hyperliquid? You married to shorting CVX? Okay, well, I've locked in my entry here, 242. Yeah. What's the next upper band? What's the next entry?
To be honest with you, if you could get a DCA around 250 just to bring your entry up,
okay,
and then I think that's good.
Okay, so guys, I've locked in on Blofin here. I've got 242. And I've got 2.5. Let me just show the guys what I've got cooking here. Okay, so I've locked in two entries on the CVX, 242, 2.5. I've done this in isolated. Okay, so just protecting the rest of the account. The orders are now locked in. Okay, looking for this short to play out. Now, everyone's got their wife. Yeah, we can't judge. We can't judge. I'm married to Hyperliquid. What must I do?
Like CVX.
I mean, it's fine. You can be married to CVX.
I like it more if it would not stop me out.
It's fine. You're addicted to the pain. It's fine. Okay, exactly. What else we got?
Okay, I haven't gone to town on this chart because I only found this a minute before we went live. So that line is just there to tell me what I want to talk to you guys about. So I'm going to get rid of that. All it is, guys, I'm looking for a ping up again to another bearish block. Okay, this is a bearish block. We have much more red than we have in this case blue. We do have a 50-day coming in. So what I'm actually going to do, if you look at the signals, okay, there's a sell signal. There's a buy signal. They've been quite profitable. Okay, that was a nice short. and this is a nice long. The way that I'm going to play this, and if you're in hackers, you can keep up with me. I'm looking to ping this zone, and rather than just a pin here, because what can happen is we sweep this as well, and we take the 50-day, all right, and we stop potentially around this wick, okay, or somewhere around this fair value gap. So what I'm going to do to just mitigate the guesswork is I'm going to wait for the next sell signal to come. All right. So the next time I see one of these and it lines up with what I've just told you, that is the point I'm going to enter. All right. And that should give us this. And then, oh, what's happened there? Dictionary. Brilliant. Let's get rid of that. Let's try again. Should give us this.
Dictionary.
I did. And I'm looking for a bearish divergence. That's what I'm looking for. So guys, we will look for an S. Okay. Somewhere in this region, hopefully inside this block. Hopefully we sweep this 50-day, and then I would give you the short. Dylan, I wouldn't necessarily lock in a trade yet, because it's going to be somewhere between 45.5 cent, 4.5 rather, and realistically 4.8. So it's quite a big gap. So this is coming, guys. If you're in hackers, I'll update you this week, today, tomorrow on SQD. All right.
Okay, there you go, guys. SQD and CVX. What was the last one? What was
the last one? Was 𝗵𝗿. We've got a, just very, very quickly, this is an easy one to call out. We've got a 786 from this fib pool, from the high to the low. All right, I've marked, now I've shown you where it's come from. I'll zoom you back in. There's a 786 here, and that is at 58.2 cents. Okay, 0582. What I'm looking for is exactly the same as we've been speaking about all day. Look, when we get a lovely ping and a color change, there is another one. Look what happens. We get a drop. We get a drop. I'm literally, guys, looking for the same thing again. I'm looking for the RSI to roll over. Okay, so Dylan, I think 0.5829 is my 786. So you could front run that. 0.581, for example.
Yeah, sticking that in.
Yeah. Or 58, whatever. Nice round number for you.
Yeah, locked it in. I've locked it in on Blowfin. Yes, I've got 𝗵𝗆 and CVX. Yeah, nice. Looking for these shorts. Thank you, sir. Nice. Looking good. Now, guys, who's ready for? I actually need to get your opinion here in the chats. Okay, Sui, long the top, short the top. Okay. Chaos, talk to me, James. I mean, the fact that James is shaking his head so much, it makes me want to double my size and be long. Like that.
But Sui just always falls over. It always does.
Fundamentally, Sui is the best. I'm in it for the tech. You must understand. Like, Sui is
because you're a long-term investor now.
It's an amazing product. I want to be a long-term investor in a red P&L with Sui. I mean, that's kind of how I'm feeling here at the moment. Okay, so guys, let's talk shorts. Let's see what we can put together here. Here's XRP. Guys, I'm sitting in an XRP short, and yeah, I mean, if it goes up back to this entry zone, I'm actually going to go red on the XRP short, but you can see it's quite a high conviction short zone. So 138 into 139.5, give or take, that type of region, guys. This makes a lot of sense to me. Okay, this is a nice bear zone, very similar bear zone to Solana. Look at that, looking bearish in that zone, and the same with ETH. Okay, looking bearish in that zone. So you get my sentiment here. We've pushed up, we've had a nice bounce. Macro situation is not amazing. Maybe this was just a mini squeeze and the bulls aren't now continuing the situation. So that is kind of where I'm leaning at the moment. Okay, so guys, XRP traders also a little bit bearish. Look at our oscillator here, 2 hour, looking like dog shit. Sui, talk to me, guys. Okay, we've broken the VWAP, we've broken the QR, we're floating around the 0.5. Degen pop here on Sui. What do you think? Nothing. No. Nothing. You guys are too bearish. I spend
too much time in our Discord. Everyone has convinced me that Sui's going to zero. Therefore, it must.
Sui is such a piece of shit. I mean, excuse me, but like it is absolute dog shit. Okay, I'm gonna put my stop. Under this wick. Okay, so you can see the QR there, the VWAP. You can see the wick. 9196, guys. Okay, 9196. You can see this is a danger zone. The question is, if there is a squeeze and Bitcoin, for example, let's take a look here. If you want to be hedged here, guys, okay, Bitcoin's rejecting here. If there's a squeeze and Bitcoin runs higher and starts moving to these types of levels, you're going to see things like, for example, ETH push up to that next level. You're going to see things like Sol push up to this next level over here. And then you're going to see things like 𝗬𝗰 also pop a little bit higher. So if you want to be hedged here, again, I'm leaning bearish here. If you want to be hedged, 9196 is your exit play. Alternatively, guys, this is a short all day. If you look at it this way, if this was an inverted chart and you were looking for a bounce, you would see something like that, bang, okay? And you would look for that move over there. And if you flip this one back over, you can see the play. Okay, so fake out through the trend and then a possible rejection there on 𝗬𝗰. Okay, so long the top so I can sell my spot. I'm here to help, sir. I'm here to serve. Okay, 𝗘𝗨𝗏84, we've got you covered. Okay, so guys, there's the play. If you're looking for a hedge there for a upside move, that could be something. We have popped that VWAP. Okay, let's talk SPX. Let's talk when entries. Okay, so SPX, this thing dropped 20%, 22%. I completely bitched out of this thing at around about that region, 33, give or take. I missed the bottom, the extra 10% on top. Okay, but now, guys, what happened to SPX? It moved into the bounce zone that I gave you guys on Friday, and this was on the show on Friday. So now we've got our bounce on SPX. I've been adding to this thing, and it's just not moving. It's not giving me the push. But in terms of targets for SPX, I've got a high conviction short zone at 33 into 34. That will cater for a Bitcoin squeeze. If Bitcoin wakes up here and pushes higher, you're going to get a short on SPX 33 to 34. In terms of Friday's long, no reason to close it just yet. My entry sucks at the moment because I've been adding to this thing. And yeah, I mean, the support 296 is looking like the zone. And obviously I want it a little bit higher on this guy. So resistance is 316, high conviction short 33 to 34 on SPX. Okay, so that is that's one of the bangers. Then in terms of Pendle, we've hit TP1. This was our when entry we gave after the show on Friday. Pendle has now hit TP1. I only had one order hit on 2-bit while I was sleeping in that Asia session, so not shooting the lights out, unfortunately, but the order did hit, and we are in that position. Okay, so TP1 here for Pendle. The playbook was a lower high and then some kind of reversal here to the downside. So not looking for big things. You can see this ties in with Sol, this ties in with ETH, this ties in with Bitcoin, all being bearish sort of where they are right now. Okay, so just protect yourselves if you're hitting these TP zones. Like, this is where you need to be clipping some things. Now, everyone's talking about Pippin. What's going on here with Pippin?
16% pump, apparently. Yeah, everybody's screaming in the chat about it.
Oh,
I hate that thing.
Hey, pull it out. Pull it out.
Pull it out.
Are we still talking about Pippin, boss?
Chaos, whip it out. I want to see that thing. Okay,
On the desk.
Whip it out for me. Okay, while Chaos is whipping his stuff out. Okay, 𝗬𝗎, this was a fail. Took the rinse on 𝗬𝗎. 𝗬𝗎 was a when entry, and it gave us what we wanted in terms of a reaction in the zone, but this weekend was a bit filthy. It kind of just chopped around in our area, so I took the L on 𝗬𝗎, unfortunately. So we had a good SPX, we had a good Pendle. 𝗬𝗎 obviously ruined the day. And in terms of the next big zone for 𝗬𝗎, guys, it's here, 156. That is the next long zone for me for 𝗬𝗎, 156, guys. That looks pretty interesting here. That'll be our 786 that we are looking to tap. Now, let's talk about my wife. Is this thing going to actually, is it gonna give me what I need? Chaos, please just say yes. Just
yes.
Take it to dinner, buy it some flowers. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
I was saying, is hype going to slap on some heels for us this time and just break out? Or is it just going to be another major disappointment? Hey, I mean, guys, here we are. This is our time to shine for hype. You know my sentiments on this thing at the moment. Basically, what I'm looking at, this is the daily. If you start seeing hype put pressure, what is probably going to play out here for hype is a push into that 200-day wick fill, and then you're going to get this beautiful reset, and then I think we're on our bicycle on this hyperliquid. Okay, and that is kind of what I'm looking for, guys. I'll drop this chart for you, but there's not much to see here. Hype main support is going to be your 50-day MA. That's 29.5. And looking for a breakout. If we hit that 200-day MA at 35, I think things are going to turn nice and bullish here, okay? And Jack says, hi, breakout, please. You can't be married to my wife, bro. Okay, it's not right. How come everyone else is married to it at the moment? But I just like the pain, just like Chaos likes that CVX situation. But you can see hype is doing things. Okay, it's nearly there, guys. It's nearly there. Let's talk about another amazing shitcoin. Zcash. Okay, I refuse to close my short on this thing. Again, the question is, are we too early? Are we diving into shorts too early here? Are we not giving the market enough credit for a move? You can see this thing is so psychotic at the moment. Look at this. We printed a reversal, a bullish reversal down here, and now we're printing our overbought reversal on the 2 hour already, one candle later on Zcash. What do you make of this, Chaos?
I don't know. I can't. I just fucking hate this thing. It's wrecked me so many times in the past. I've just got bad vibes with this thing.
Okay,
I can't give you a straight answer with Zcash. I'm sorry. It's too much of a killer.
I'm going to hold my short on Zcash. I suspect because there's so many guys shorting this thing, you could possibly get surprised. You don't want to write off another pop here on this thing. So, what I would say is Zcash guys, watch out here at this trend. 222 looks reasonable. And then if there's a squeeze, well, the bears are in trouble because this is going to be the next big one. 238 into 245. Okay, 238 to 245. That's a monster zone there for me on Zcash. Right now, obviously looking for this to play out. I'm holding the short, looking for that. Bang. Okay, that is kind of where I want to be on Zcash. I don't want to look much higher than that trend. Okay, so guys, leaning bearish for today. Not feeling super bullish here, unless James can change the news for us.
There are a couple of headlines out. Trump's just come out and said that he has a plan for oil. It's no big deal. Putin's just come out as well and said that the elevated oil prices are very temporary. They're going to come back down. So you never know. Maybe they are going to put some stuff out here to try and calm the markets, and we do get that extra pump. It's possible.
Okay. So, guys, this is what's happening. The US are removing sanctions on Russian oil, from what we understand. So they're talking in the background here, even though the Russians are giving the Iranians the US air-based targets and the US weaponry targets. On the other side, they're saying, let's do a deal on oil. So there's never a dull moment. Okay. We are just the pawns in the game. Okay. We are the game. Like they're just killing us. So that is what's going on. What does that leave us with oil? Because oil could obviously drop a little bit harder. Let's take a look at the
flying here. Did everyone just ape into that thing?
Guys, you know that's, oh my God, it's a thing of beauty. It's a thing of beauty. This hyper liquid. Okay, send it, boy. Send it, boy. Look at this thing go. Let's go, boy.
This is it. This is the moment.
Okay, but what does that mean for the rest of the market? The rest of the market's relatively quiet here at the moment. Let's take a look at this oil. So, guys, you can hear the deal. Like, if they sort out the oil situation, oil drops, and you're going to find that equities start moving up. Okay, it's very, very simple. It's oil maths. Okay, so I've taken the bounce long on oil, 92.6. That's the exit plan. If Russia and the US do a deal, well, fuck, guys, oil's coming back down. Inflation starts becoming less of a problem, and equities pump, crypto might pump, things like that. So again, that's what I'm saying. We're super news-based at the moment. We play the big zones. Nice hedge, Sui. Maybe it's a hedge, guys. Maybe it's a hedge long. Okay. Thank you, boys.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Good luck, everyone.
I can tell you guys that we have got absolutely bots cooking in Hackers. If you want to...
We forgot about that.
We did.
Okay.
That's why anything else. Okay, very, very quickly. If you want to bring my screen back, I'll keep it less than 30 seconds, if you like.
There.
Okay, guys, we had a monster of a Zoom on Saturday night just gone. I'm going to have another Zoom tomorrow morning, and we're going to cover it again next weekend as well, and every Tuesday. What you've got here is you've got two sets of bots through Hackers. These are not grid bots. Generally, they're generally algo bots. We've got a really simple one-click bot where we just literally loaded in $1,000 a couple of weeks ago. And of course, we're sitting pretty at this level. And these are literally just one click. You just go into the list of bots, okay? If you're in Chart Hackers, you get this for free. Or if I'm not mistaken, Dylan, if you get your link through this YouTube as well, is that right?
So if you, oh my God, Hyper's pumping and Sui is pumping. Yes, guys. Okay.
End of days. End of days. End of days.
Okay, so yeah, you'll get this product for free, guys. You just got to be on either the show link on 𝗏𝗏𝗏 or on the Hackers link on 𝗏𝗏𝗏, and you get this product for free. And they do all the hard, heavy lifting for you guys. Chaos is manning this thing. He's doing sessions on it for you guys. He's all over this shit like a rash. He's loving it. And we've got another amazing product as well, but we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that on the. Oh, there it is. Okay,
I've got that as well. I've got that as well. So, guys, very quickly, this one is one click, all right, and you let them trade for you. It's really cool. And this thing here is full manual mode. There's a whole library of bots. Okay, you just choose the ones that you want to put a star in. I've got these bots running at the moment. We put in $1,000 2 weeks ago. It's up to 13.25 today. So I don't know about you guys, but in February, I walked away on automation with 32%. I'm quite happy.
There you go. Okay, very nice, guys. You can get this in the Hackers Discord. How we get if we are in, we'll sort you out. Seaside Joe, just check the announcements. Chaos is talking in there all the time. The 𝗏𝗏𝗏 one is going live like in the next, probably in the next 24 hours. You can literally, it's a $99 a month product that you're just going to get for free from these guys. And then the MDX product is a $200 product. And if you're in 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗃, you're going to get it for 99. Okay. And they're literally doing magic. We're leaving these bots running here. We're going to enter them in the 𝗏𝗏𝗏 trading competition as well. It's going to trade against us. It's going to trade with us. And you're going to see the results that these things are pumping out. So we're super excited about this stuff. 𝗬𝗏 along the top is green, believe it or not. Okay.
I don't believe it.
Hyperliquid is green for now. Okay, guys, what did I say? 𝗬𝗏, I'm in it for the tech. Okay, see you guys later. Bye.
Yeah.